Okay, so we are now on the final um, Google, sorry, the Revit shed part 3. So you're just going to go ahead and open your previous file in Revit. So the last file that you worked on, you should have created a sheet file with 4 different views on it. Let me open mine from here. Mine is this previous house project, so. Okay, so yours should look something like this. Remember, if your properties or your project browser is not there, then you go up to your View tab up here, and then you go to your user interface and make sure the project browser and the properties browser are checked. Okay, so what we're going to do is first, in this assignment, what we're going to do is let me clean up the sheet first, okay? So to do that, see, I want basically to get rid of all of my trees that are showing up in these different views. So I'm going to go to my floor plan first, and I'm going to click on one of the trees, and then down at the bottom I'm going to click on these this pair of glasses that you see here, and I'm going to say hide category. So it's going to hide it from that view. And then I'm going to go to my east elevation, I'm going to click on a tree, and I'm going to go to the glasses and say hide category again, and do the same thing with my north elevation view. I'm going to hide the category. Alright, so now when I go to my sheet view, those things are no longer there. Alright, you can't see any of those trees. You can only see it in the 3D view, which is what I want. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to create a section view. So go to your floor plan, floor view, and under the View tab, so click on your View tab, we're going to create a section. So a section is essentially a cut in some part of your structure that shows the inside of it. So if I cut along this wall right here, if I create a section right there, it's going to cut my wall right there, and it's going to show me the inside of that wall. It's going to show me all the different layers that are inside my wall, and I'll show you what I mean by that in a second. But the first thing is, right when you make that cut, I don't know if you all saw that, but basically you just click on the section button, and I'm going to start right here, and I'm going to go through so I just get this portion of my wall right there. Okay, click once and close it. Now I'm going to drag my box view just so that I only see the wall right here. This is my section view. Okay, now what you're going to notice here is that on your project browser, under your sections portion of your levels, if you click that little plus sign, you're going to notice the section 1 just popped up, and that's the section 1 that you just created. Double click on that, and you're going to see the inside of your wall. You're going to see this is, if I made a cut down that wall right there, I'm going to see this is the side view of that. This is the inside of my wall and my roof at that section that I just cut. There's a couple things I notice here. One is my plant view is on, so I'm going to turn that off. I just click on it, go back to my glasses, and say hide category here. The other thing I notice is that I can't see the different layers of my roof or wall, and that's going to be a detail thing. So right at the bottom of your screen, let's see, this box that you see here, this rectangle, this is how your details are going to look. So if you click on that, right now it's at coarse. Make it fine. So when I make it fine, now you can see some things have happened. Some of these layers now pop up within my walls and my flooring. Okay. So first thing that we're going to do is we're actually going to change the some of the layers within the wall, but I actually forgot one small step. So down at the bottom here, you actually want to change this to 1/2 an inch is equal to 1 foot. So click on that number and go up and find 1/2 inch is equal to 1 foot, which is up here. And you're just changing that scale. Okay, that looks better. Now you can see it properly. Alright, so what we're going to do is first we're going to click on your wall. So this is your wall. This should be a wood siding wall, and you're going to say edit type. We're going to edit the structure of this, so click edit there. And we're going to change the metal stud layer, which is right here, this metal stud layer, to a softwood lumber. And we're going to change the thickness to 4. So first we're going to change this to 4 inches. And then we're going to go and change this to softwood lumber by clicking on those 3 dots. And then you can scroll down actually and find our, maybe not, we're looking for softwood lumber. Here we go. I just clicked down on my project material and it's right there. So I'm going to click OK. Hold on one second. Okay, sorry about that. Alright, so the next thing we're going to do is we're going to click on the plywood sheathing and we're going to change that to 1/2 an inch. Then we're going to click OK. And we're going to click OK. Alright, you can barely see it, but it basically changed the wall slightly, and if you zoom in, you'll be able to see the different layers that we created there. The next thing that you're going to do is you're going to change the floor. So you're going to click on the floor, go to Edit Type over here, go to Edit Structure, and we're actually going to edit this structure right here. Okay, so we're going to make this concrete. Click on the 3 little dots, click down on your project material, go to concrete, and we're going to do the cast in place gray, and then you're going to click OK and change the thickness of it to 6 inches, and then click OK. Click apply or just OK, and what you're going to see happen is you get a 6-inch foundation under your floor there. One thing you're also going to notice is your floor, my floor, actually yours might be different and correct, but my floor is actually incorrect right now and only goes to the inside of the wall. I actually want my floor to go all the way to the outside of my exterior wall. So I'm going to click on my floor. I'm going to go to the floor plan, and I'm I'm just going to double click on it actually, and yep, see how that purple line is showing me that's my boundary areas, is the inside of the wall. You actually want to click on that and change that to flip it to the outside. So now this is now my new boundary, the outside of the wall, and I'm going to click the check button. And now if I go to my section view, there we go. Now my floor goes all the way to the exterior wall. Okay, so we're almost done. Actually, this was a short one, but we're going to add some. So you see the layers based on the lines here, but what you don't see is the actual material within each of them very well, especially the insulation, which is this giant big gap right here and here. So let's go ahead and put in insulation. Under your annotate tab up at the top, you're going to click on annotate, and then you're going to click the insulation button. From here you can actually draw in insulation. So I'm going to just draw some insulation in here, and then what I'm going to do, it's a little bit difficult, is change the thickness because I want it to really fit the whole way, and I'm going to say that it's probably about 6 inches because that's what we had originally said. So 6 inches, enter, oops. I actually hit enter too easily. So you can just hit escape. You can go back, click on your insulation there, and then change the thickness. Again, 6 inches, enter. There we go. So yours might be coming out a little bit here, and to just fix that, you just drag it in a bit. And then if you want to rotate how it looks, you can rotate it on the other side. I may actually just make mine slightly bigger so it goes all the way to the edges. 6.5 is good. And then I'm going to move it down. Maybe even 7 inches. So this part you kind of play around with. And you can use your arrow keys too to move it. Alright, that looks fine. Alright, so I got some insulation there. And then I'm going to put more insulation along my wall. And this is actually too big, so I'm going to change, oops, go click on the arrow, highlight it, and I'm going to change it to 4 inches. And I'm going to highlight it and then move it over. It's slightly too big. I'm going to go 3.5 and then move it over with my arrow key. There we go. Alright. So I put some insulation in, and here you can see where it kind of overlaps, and you can adjust that on your own at the edges here. Alright. Okay, so I've just put in my insulation. Now I'm going to label the parts of my insulation, and this is my box right now. This is my view box, so I can also adjust that to how I'm going to want it to show up on my plan sheets. So to insert text and callouts, this is what we call callouts. You're going to click on the text box button, and then you're going to click on this 2-segment one, and I'm going to start at the top, and I'm just going to start labeling. So first thing I'm going to label is my large insulation here, which is called bat insulation. And then hit enter. Oops, sorry, don't hit enter. Click out. Now that's really big. What I'm going to do is, since it's already highlighted, go over to my properties, and I'm going to do 3 by 32 inches, 3 over 32 inches. and then, oops, that didn't change it. There. Okay, and what you're going to notice too is you're going to have to probably adjust the way this looks and how big it is, and yeah. Okay, so there's our first one. I'm actually going to just Control C, copy it, and Control V and paste. Oops. I don't know if I can do that. Paste another one and then just keep moving this down, because what you're going to notice later is you need like 10 of these different call-outs, and it's easier to do that way. So the next thing is cedar siding. And my cedar siding just coming off of here. It's actually not on my roof, it's on my wall. The side of my wall in the house. So I'm gonna move this over and have my arrow point directly to it there. The arrows will kind of get overlapped, and the wall lines are too close together, so you can't really see as much, but it's okay. I'm going to highlight it again, Control C, and then Control V, and then just place it somewhere and move it. And at this point, you are just labeling stuff. Let's see, what is this? You may have to click around until you can get into the text box. These are 2x8 rafters on the roof at 24 inches O period C period. And that O period C period means on center. So these are 2x8 rafters at 24 inches on the center. I'm actually going to take that one, Control C, Control V to copy it, and I'm going to use this for my wall down here, because we've got 2x4 studs. Remember your wooden studs on your walls that you created when you built your house with the popsicle sticks. Those are studs, 2x4 studs. So that is part of your wall, and I'll make that go to the inside a little bit. Alright, we've got quite a few of these. Alright, I'm gonna, if you open up the assignment from Schoology, what you're going to see is all of the labels and where they go, so it might be easier for you to do that versus continuously just watching me do it here. I'm actually gonna paste a few of these and then just change them as I go. Okay. Here's my 1/2 inch plywood sheathing. Remember, all of these layers are in your properties detail of your roof, okay? So if you have different roofing material, you're going to have different properties. And we made it asphalt shingles. Asphalt shingles are on the outside. My plywood is right underneath of my asphalt shingles. My rafters are under that. Yeah, again, you might not be able to see exactly where it's pointing, but it's okay. That's why they have different detail sheets. Okay, so let's do this wall. We have to do, we have bat insulation also in our wall, so I'm gonna paste that down here. Move it. Okay. We also have plywood sheathing on our wall, so I can copy Control C and then Control V and then bring it down here and paste it. So some of the roof layers are going to be the same as your wall layers, is what you're noticing, right? Okay. And finally, we have one more layer that is on our wall, and that's your gypsum wallboard. Just another layer, and there's a 1/2 inch of that. All right. And that is actually in between your, on the interior side of your wall. If you zoom in here, you'd be able to see this is your gypsum wallboard. All right. Okay, so I think we are pretty much almost done. One last thing, I just saw it. It's Control C, Control V. We need to label our concrete. This is your 6-inch concrete that we actually just created a little while ago. So let's label that. And you can see that I'm putting in the thickness too, so 6-inch concrete here. Alright, there you go. Now, let's make sure, here's our view box, right? Our crop box. See how some of my words go outside of that? Let's open that out so it includes all of the words. Some of it you may need to move if it doesn't fit, but let's turn this off for now. Hide crop region. This is really big. Our lines, our elevation lines, so you can actually move these, hopefully. You have to take it from the edge to move it in. The same on this side. Alright. Now, let's go to our sheet view. And let's move some things around so that we can fit this side section view onto here. You can really create another sheet and put it on there if you want, but you should be able to know how to move things and make things smaller. Let's look at our elevation view for east. That can be smaller. We can move these in. Grab it from the edge over here to move it, and then do the same with our north elevation view. And then go to our sheet view again. Okay, so you can see that these are smaller, but our detail under it. So if I click on this view, I can actually make these smaller underneath of it, and then I can move the stuff over and move all of it so that it fits. Same with this one. Move it over here. So I'm going to put my section view right there. let's make this view smaller. Okay. Alright, there we go. And my section view up here is poking off my sheet, so I'm going to move this down as well. And then move my floor up there. Okay, it could be better, but I'll accept this. Now let's just take our section view from over here. Let's drag it onto this sheet and place it right here. And looks pretty good. Fits on the sheet, and all of our details are there. So, this is the final step of your shed. Of course, there are more details that you can put in, and take all of these different parts and make them into a separate sheet. So you can do all of your elevations on your sheet. You can do different floor plan views on a sheet. You can do different 3D views on a sheet, and then of course different section views on a sheet. Later on, we might not get to it, but schedules and quantities are very, very useful. Basically what they are is they will count and give you a list of everything that you have. So basically it will count how many windows you have, how many doors, the size of each one of them, how much material you have, all of that. So you can create schedules and quantities and put that on different sheets, showing more details about the materials and quantities of each of the materials that you're using. Okay, so go ahead and save this and show me, and I will check you off for it. After that, you're actually going to take this same exact file, resave it as your house file, your Habitat for Humanity house file, and you're going to go back into your floor plan. Let me go into the proper floor plan, under floor plan, and you're going to adjust it and edit everything, include more walls, make your house bigger. You're going to make it the exact dimensions and style that you did for your actual house, and create plan sheets from that one. Okay? Alright. I will see you all in class. Bye.